Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is the game Star Citizen. We're going to be looking at how to start your playtime in Star Citizen. So you're going to want to go to the Persistent Universe. It will make you create a character for the first time. You can change lots of features in this, and you can also go back and change it after you're done playing the game. So I'm going to let you play around with this at a later time, but I'm going to just randomize it a couple times. Go to review, hit accept. That error shouldn't happen to you, but we'll see. There you go. It should prompt you with this. Go ahead and skip it, because we are not doing that, because I'm giving you your own tutorial. There's two systems. There's Stanton, which is lawful, where most of the players spend the majority of their time. And there is Pyro. Just because Pyro is not lawful, and so it's open PvP across the vast majority of it, unless you're within stations. That does not mean that there's not PvP in Pyro in Stanton. There is often more PvP in the Stanton system than there is in Pyro. Pyro is a lot bigger, so it's a lot more spread out. We're going to choose Stanton, because that's where most people start. You have four options. You have Lorville, Orison, Area 18, and New Babbage. Lorville is very industrial. Area 18 also has most of the ships at Lorville to purchase in the future. This does change patch to patch, so it's not something that you need to make the decision now. You can try it out for one patch, change it later on. We're going to choose Orison. Orison's very beautiful. It's a gas giant, so you're on floating cities, whereas Lorville is very industrial. Area 18 is kind of metropolitan. It's an entire planet covered in cities. And there is also New Babbage, which is kind of futuristic, modernized, etc. I'm going to choose Orison for this, and we're going to start the game. I will, at another time, or in another video, go over how to navigate these different locations outside of your first time playing. So if you're just looking for a quick guide, check in the top right corner, and I should have that attached later on for you to know how to get out of medbeds, know how to get out of the habs at these locations, and into the verse. Right now we're just loading. This loading screen does change patch to patch with various little details, tips, hints, events that are going on. Right now, currently, the medevac ship was just released, so that's right in the middle. It does take a minute for this to load, so we're just going to have to wait, and I'm probably going to cut this. Now, a feature of the game is that you will load into your persistent hangar the very first time. You may not always load into your persistent hangar, depending on where you logged off, or etc. But this will be your persistent hangar. You can hit F4 on your keyboard to go into third person, and two different options for that. You can hit Z for free look around, and this will work while in ships as well. So F4 to free look, Z to move it. So you need to hold Z. You can also hold F4, scroll in, scroll out. These are your inventory terminals. This is location specific, so this will be for this area of Orison. This will not carry over, and I will not be able to access it up at a satellite, orbital station, etc. But this is here as a placeholder. That's broken. We're going to ignore that.
Welcome to the ASOP.
This is your ASOP Fleet
System.
Manager, as it's set in game. So we're going to want to take your starter ship, deliver it to the location. We're going to go back. We're going to hit
Your
retrieve.
vehicle has been delivered. Please visit us again.
It's going to look up here. This is going down, and it's going to bring up our ship in a moment once the doors all close. Basic starter for this. It is the Mustang. We're not going to worry about most of the features of the Mustang, such as its cargo capacity or anything else, because I will have another video for that. Instead, we're going to go right here to the pilot seats. We're going to press F to get into the pilot seats. Alright, first we're going to hit U to power it on. That's U for uniform.
Your journey begins now.
Then I for India to turn on the thrusters. See, the thrusters are on now. Now, controls are going to be a little bit helpful. I have this on by default for all of this information. The way that you are going to get this information is you're going to go to this menu on your MFD screen. You can do that by pressing the left or right arrows until you get here. You're going to go to HUD, and then this is the advanced HUD information here to help you fly. And you can also enable that inside game settings by going down here to defaults. And at the end of defaults is defaults HUD advanced, and turn these to yes. That will enable you every time you get into a new ship, it will have this advanced stuff on it here. Now right here, we see the landing icon. You will also see that if it'll be right here for you. So this information is all the same here. It's just I like it to have it up here. There is some additional information. These are your coupled, lock, etc. VTOL modes. We'll get into those. But I'm going to use advanced HUD. I recommend that you do as well. So first we're going to press space to lift off. It will hover here. You can press space, control to go down, like so. Now, it's going to be W to go forward, S to go backwards, A to go left, D to go right. These are just strafing. Now, if I'm going forward, I can press X for the space brake. And then we have Q to roll right, E to roll, Q to roll left, E to roll right. Like so. Now we want to open the hangar doors and take our first flight. So we're going to be doing left Alt N. does not appear to be working for me. So I'm going to navigate over to the hail screen here, and I'm going to, there we go, Alt-N work there,
Landing gear.
but you can also go to the hail screen and hail the landing service for your area. Looks like it's night outside, so I'm going to press W, fly out. Now, a couple things. You may see this right here. This is your actual direction of flight travel. So you can see as I'm pressing D, it is strafing over to the right. Or A. So this will tell you what direction you're traveling in. So as you make adjustments, and if I stop pressing, I'm still heading in that direction, but I'm moving the mouse around to free look. And you can tell that I'm slowing down on that left indicator here when I release the sticks. If I hit C, the coupled symbol goes away here. I'll do that again to show you. See, coupled mode, that's the default flight mode. Decoupled mode is this. So when I do this, it will maintain its inertia when in space. Essentially, it's no automatic space brakes. And these indications on the left and right are your up-down heading indicators. So I want to be going to 85, which is essentially straight up. Or I can drop it down. This is at 0, so I'm flying along the surface of the planet. And here I am at negative inclination and flying down to the planet. Or the orbital gas giant in this case. What I just did was I hit tab to do a ping, which will light up radar contacts and stuff if they are visible to your radar, because there is stealth in the game. Those indications of your stealthiness are here, specifically the electromagnetic, that's radar. The heat indication, which some missiles use, and cross-section emissions. So how visible you are, how visible on radar, and then thermals. In the right corner, you can see the altitude indicator here, and the grav pressure that is occurring on me as I'm doing maneuvers. And you can potentially black out if this gets too high. There are ways to mitigate that, such as flight suits and helmets for high maneuverability aircraft. But that's not something we're going to worry about right now. Let's get into space. What we're going to need to do, and you can see that my vector of travel is aligning back to this as I'm holding still and pressing W. Left shift is your boost. You can see that here. I'm using my boost. And it does have some changes, as you can see, to this. And will make you more visible with streaks coming out of your engines when in space. Now, in order to get anywhere, we are going to need to be in nav mode. Nav mode is achieved by holding down B, and these are jump markers out here. You need to be outside of the atmosphere in order to use jump, which is why this is online now that I'm over the altitude area. So I can align to Seraphim Station, which is the orbital station over the planet. Other planets, such as Microtech, will have a orbital station above it. Lorville will have Everest Harbor, and Area 18 will have Bajini Point. I don't remember Microtech right now, but I will go over those in that other video, as I mentioned before. Now, if you don't like this here, you can press F12 to get rid of chat, And we are going to align to Seraphim Station. So it is green. See, if we go here, it means this is our jump is charged, and this is calculation to our jump marker. So we align to Seraphim Station. It charges the calculation. And then we are going to hold left click to jump. You can see hydrogen fuel and quantum fuel. Hydrogen fuel is your normal burning fuel. Quantum fuel is your jump fuel. So as you take longer distances, you may need to make different jumps. I'm going to put back on coupled mode for a moment. And it is slowing down the ship. You can see the thrusters, as I'm not touching anything, are maneuvering the ship in order to slow it down. What we are going to do now is we're going to press F2 to go to the map. This is your overall control of it. You can look at contracts. You can look at communications for parties, for other things. The health of your character, such as its oxygen status, drug status, hunger and food, as well as temperature, heart rate, etc. So as you start running around, some of these will change depending on what environment you're at, what gravity you're in, etc. What we want is we want to go to maps. We are at Seraphim Station. But if we wanted to go to Lorville, we would search it in the top right corner, click on Lorville, click route to Lorville, and then it would have a series of jumps for us. We would first jump to the planet of Hurston, and then around the planet to Lorville. We're not going to do that right now. It also has... Oops. It also has information here about what services are provided at these locations. So, what size hangars, what weapons stores, etc. If we look at Seraphim, it has up to large hangars, medium landing pads, vehicle services, which is repair, refuel, and rearm, and docking, which is for extra large ships. A clinic for respawn, loading dock, commodity trading, buying and selling weapons, buying and selling armor, clothing, and food. So this is where we want to go to essentially get you ready to the verse. But before that, we're going to go out of navigation mode. So you can see the weapon status and shield status in the top left corner up here, and also on the MFD. You can change your power allocation here on this screen of the MFD. This will be slightly different depending on what vehicle you're in, but it will have guns here, so you can turn on and off your guns fully or change their power levels. So if we turn off guns, engines, and shields, you can see that the electromagnetic signature is going down for the ship. As we turn them back on, it increases again. So you can adjust this for your stealthiness if necessary. There is also quantum. So when in quantum, it disables your shields, enables quantum. We can see that here, where it allocated power to your quantum drive and removed power to shields. So we no longer have shields or weapons when in quantum. And then it is radar, life support, and coolers. And you can change and adjust all the equipment of all of these things. So what items you have equipped. We are going to left click to fire, right click to zoom in. You can still fire in a zoomed in position. I'm going to target this. I do not recommend shooting the turrets, so I'm just going to look slightly to the right. But you hit T to target, and left alt T to untarget. So T to target, left alt T to untarget. When targeting, you can also hit T again to rotate what you're targeting. Now, when I'm firing, like so, I can set my vectored flights over here on the right of the direction that we're going in. Used decoupled, so I'm staying at a steady speed, and then rotate to fire on the same targets. So this is a way of strafing as you're firing, like so. As you can see, when I fire, the counters go down, and then they have a recharge rate. If I have less power to guns, I have less overall charge in there, and or the reload rate might be lower. Other guns, such as ballistics, may have different mechanisms, such as an ammo counter and a heat, whereas this is lasers. So they have no ammo, but they do have a maximum shot rate, and etc. We want to approach the station now. Once you're within 10 kilometers of the station, you can do left alt N to request a hangar, or you can go to the MFD. So I'm going to try that now. Left alt N to request a hangar, which doesn't appear to be working. So instead I'm going to hail Seraphim Station. It is assigning a hangar. These are all the hangars here. I am upside down relative to the station, so I'm going to press E to turn around. And then, because I am in a small ship, it is most likely going to give me a top-down hangar on the small position. Whereas medium ships will likely dock in the top over here on these ones, and then large ships will dock in the side over here. So we're approaching my landing bay. You have a couple options here. You can align yourself and then just strafe down. You could point in, fly down, get close, align it, press N to lower your landing gear, like so, and then press Control to go down. Once you have landed, it will close the hangar doors. You can press U to turn off power, just like U to turn on power. I to turn on thrusters. I to turn off thrusters.
All systems operational.
But specifically, you want to press Y to get out. So you're going to press and hold Y, as in Yankee, to get out. Before we do that, however, we're going to go into F2. We're going to go to landing, and this will be where you can refuel, rearm. I don't have anything to refuel except hydrogen, so I'm going to refuel that. I do have the engine still on, so it is burning my hydrogen as I'm leaving this. So ideally, I would want to turn that off. Go back in here, and it'll refuel. It will also say it here. It just disappeared because I didn't have much fuel. To eject, that will be right alt Y. We're not going to do that because I do actually want to fly the ship some more. But we're going to press Y to get out. A couple things about the hangar is this area here will be your ASOP terminal, inventory, etc. Your freight elevator is here with the controls here. And then there's a medical area for if you are very, very injured. You can get in there or have your friends throw you in there to put you into the medical wing. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to store
Welcome
my ship.
to the ASOP
So
vehicle
that's here.
retrieval system.
It'll show the ship that's on system.
Your vehicle
It'll
has
go
been
into storage.
restarted. Please visit us
It will
again.
lower the ship
Goodbye.
in the storage process. We'll close the doors and be fully stored once the caution goes down. We are going to go over here to the hangar, to the elevator. It does say elevators on the floors, but that is usually to the left of the ASOP terminals when looking at it. You want to go to lobby. Lobby is almost always pinned at the bottom. It may be labeled as entrance in some situations. On elevators, you want to pick a corner and stay in it. So if I'm running in here, I would stay in this corner or at the console, etc. The reason why is if you get multiple people in your team all running into the same elevator, they may clip into each other and cause them to fall into space. So elevator etiquette is to pick a corner and stay in that corner. I'm going to reopen these doors, and ideally don't run into an elevator, just walk. This is the public ASOP terminals here. You can walk up to it and claim your ship.
So like I was saying, these this mission set's not done. They're adding more. So there's more in that facility than what you're supposed to do.
So I am going to go to audio.
But they don't tell you what floor the stuff's on. So like you got to kind of explore. But I believe the one you're looking for is sort of at the beginning. But you got to hop down to the floor that has the elevator, and it's 6 or 8, I think, is the one that has the elevator.
Unfortunately, there is not an option specifically for turning off other players talking in local. So we're going to ignore them for a second. We have run out at Seraphim Station to the right from the public ASOP terminals. Turn right again, and medical clinic will be over here. You can get a medical bed at the patient check-in, but what we're most concerned about is here, regeneration. So you're going to walk up, press F to interact with it, and transfer imprint to Seraphim Clinic. And if we go back into it, you can see that it is currently set to Seraphim Clinic. You can buy medical here, which we will come back to. And again, patient check-in is at the front. If you go to patient check-in, that will take you to a medical bed. It will assign you to a room. So we are going to room 6. So this is room 1 through 4. We don't want to go there. Medical rooms 5 through 8. So 5, 6. This will be our medical room. We can go in here. There is a terminal here to set your spawn. We're going to lie down in the medical. And again, you can set your regeneration or do medical care. This will be also where you spawn if you die, and you have your spawn set here. Treatment is if you have injuries such as tier 3 injuries on your arms, legs, chest, or head, or up to tier 1. Different medical beds will have different capability of healing those, and or potentially a cost. This is free at stations, and I have no injuries. We're going to get up. I just press W to get us up. I'm going to pick up the trash that somebody left here. There will typically be hints in the bottom right corner of things that you can do. And we are going to place that using the left click into the trash. Now what we want to do is we want to get basically equipped at the station, and different locations will have different things. Bajini Point over Area 18 does not have a gun store because the gun store is at the HABs are right over here. So if you log out on the station and then log back in, it'll put you in the HAB. You can come out this way, go to the ships. But we are going to go to the Galleria. So these are the internal elevators here. Interstation Transit. And we are going to go to the Galleria.
That's happened to me. I had to go to heal myself to get the fatigue to go away.
And the first thing that we are going to do is not go there. We want to go to the armor store to get you equipped with your basic stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to go here. You're going to choose an armor to purchase. It can be any armor. I prefer the ADP armor, so I'm searching ADP. It is these 4 sets. It makes you look like a Spartan. It's kind of cool.
I'm gonna get this shit
I'm
done.
just gonna quick buy these. And then I need a backpack. So I'm going to go into categories. And I'm going to go to backpack. And I'm going to purchase a heavy backpack because different backpacks will have different capabilities. So I want a heavy backpack with the heavy armor that I just got, which will give me the most resistance. We're going to go back to all categories and just show you. So a light armor has 20% damage
Alt
reduction.
X.
It may also have different temperature ratings, radiation protections, etc. Whereas the medium armor has 30%, and then the heavy armor, such as the ADP that we got, will have a 40% protection rating. So we are going to run out of there, and we're going to go to an inventory terminal here. The inventory terminal will be up here. We're going to press F on this, and what you can do is
Down
you
to
can do this
3.9 million, man.
and click on equip, or you can pick on something and drag it onto the body over the circle, such as this,
Yeah.
and makes you
Buying
look like a
ammo
Spartan.
and guns and.
And we're going to put on the backpack. And I'm going to check it
It was only up to like 4.2.
And I can't mute that guy, but I would love to. Next, we're going to go to the gun store. We're going to go to the shop terminal here. And we're going to need to purchase a gun. I recommend the P4 and ammunition for it. But before we do that, we're going to change this to our backpack. Do a quick buy. And then for the ammunition, we're going to buy 20 rounds of that. Now, instead of doing quick buy, I went over here to buy, and it gave you the option to change the quantity. Since I delivered that to my backpack, I'm going to press I for inventory. It will have my gun in here. I'm going to take my gun and place it onto the right or left. Your right position, this one, will be your primary, and the left will be the secondary. And then this can get equipped such as that. However, there is another armor screen. It is this button up here in the top right corner, and this will show what things are equipped in what slots. So this is the Arclight pistol that the game comes with, along with the Arclight. We're going to take these, put them in the backpack, and then I'm just going to left click here to put these into the slots. You can also do that from the other menu, and you can swap this view to look at the armor that you have equipped. Or if you are looting an enemy, their armor or items will show up here on this window, or over here. So you can now see the gun is equipped on the right side, and the mags are equipped on the chest. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to the internal system. call the elevator, and we are going to go up to the cargo center. Now, inside the cargo center, we can purchase a couple things, inventory crates, some components, some utility items. It looks pretty nice up here. Nice and industrial for all their commodity trades. But there is also a rentals location here, where you can rent ships, such as hauling ships, etc., for up to 7 days at different costs. I'm not going to do that right now, but that is how you can use some of the funds that you have in the bottom right here to get a ship, run some missions and stuff like that, if your starter ship does not have the correct or thing that you exactly want. But we want to go over here to this. We want to change this to our backpack. We're going to go into categories. We're going to go into primary categories, not subcategories. We're going to go to personal weapons. We're going to buy 2 multi-tools. You really only need 1 to start with. So we're going to buy a multi-tool, and then we're going to buy an attachment. The most useful attachment is the tractor beam attachment. So we're going to buy one of those as well. I could have quick bought both those since I was only buying one. The max lift tractor beam is better than the multi-tool with attachment. It can carry and rotates items that are larger, faster, move them further distances, etc. You can do that if you're going to specifically do hauling. It is 20,000. Your wallet is going to be pretty low upon first starting unless your friends help you out. So I wouldn't recommend this, but it is a worthwhile investment later on. This will use one of your primary slots for your rifle, so you can put it in the secondary slot or your first one, but essentially then you can't carry 2 primary rifles, SMGs, etc. Next thing that we are going to do is we are going to go to miscellaneous, and we are going to buy some cruise lux. Specifically, I recommend buying 3. That is again going to my backpack. We're going to exit out of the screen. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to inventory. We're going to attach the multi-tool to your hip, and then attach the tractor beam onto the multi-tool. You can also do that here on the other armor screen, and it shows now that it is attached. So we're going to go back over to inventory. We're going to right click the cruise. We're going to hit carry, so we are holding it in our hand. You can also mouse over things to see what they are. And then we're going to go here. When we are holding an item, such as drink or food, it will give you the option in the bottom right corner to do left alt H to take off the helmet, so that way you can drink or eat. Do not do this in space because that will get you killed. We are going to drink the food, drink the water. Cruise Lux has the benefit of feeding you, and it is sold in every cargo service, including in Pyro. And now we can either place it, throw it, like so, by doing a place for left, quick, and right to throw. And it glitched in there, so I couldn't recover that, but that's why we buy multiple. Ideally, you want to just right-click and store it. And make sure to, again, put your helmet back on. So we're going to do left alt H to put the helmet back on. You can double check with F4. Helmet's on. We're going to call the elevator. And we are going to go down to hangars and habs. There is a glitch in the game where if you just store Cruise Lux, so if you have a Cruise Lux that's 100 and then you drink one down to 0 and you put it back on there, it'll just stack on there for 100, so you have infinite food.
I'm gonna go in there. Nope, you're not ready for that.
We're going to go over to
a couple
medical.
missions away. But just so you know, inside of that room there will be a device floating around, and you have to go in there and grab it. But
one of our convenient self-check-in terminals and start
And we're going to go to pharmacy here.
already taking
And we're going to buy one of the most important things in the game, the ParaMed device. Again, you want to deliver that to your backpack. If you don't, however, you can go get it from an inventory
whether
terminal
it's a simple
at the
case of
station.
measles or something
But
more
the
serious.
backpack
Getting treatment has never been easier, thanks to the
paramedical
advanced digital
device,
assistance available at
buy,
KeltoRx.
and it does include the ammunition for this by default. So don't click this box. If you notice, we want to buy the 1500, not the 1250 without it.
Urgent page for nurse rack is off limits to all staff. Report to emergency notice. No one track lift.
And the other thing that we want is we want a couple of these. Now we're going to go to our inventory again. We're going to equip
What better way to
this,
celebrate than with a frosty Hydro Frost from Kelto.
and this will
Sweet
go
little treat
on
everyone
your
loves.
right hip. That's why we took off the gun, because as you can see, it is using the pistol slot here. So we're going to equip the rest of these med
Looking
pens,
to improve your health? At KeltoRx, medicine isn't only about healing.
and the medical gun is going to be on option 3 on your keyboard. This is pointing it at somebody else to potentially heal them. That's the best benefit of the ParaMed gun. Then you can press B for Bravo to point it at yourself and heal yourself. If you have advanced injuries that disable your arm or something else like that, you can go to Advanced Heal, click Auto, and it will increase your drug intake to offset injuries. So we're going to press B again. This guy just killed himself, so he will respawn. But you can see that his health is 0. It says that it's deceased as I pointed at him. And again, press B for Bravo
Be sure to stop by our pharmacy
to point it to and away from yourself. If you're unable to heal yourself for some reason, hit B again in order to
It's like,
reset.
stop sticking me with stuff.
We're now going to go over to the ASOP terminals, and we are going to
Welcome.
hit F to
the
call
ASOP
it,
vehicle
retrieve
select.
our ship.
Your vehicle
It'll
has
put
been
it delivered
the
to a
following
small
advanced
hangar.
visitors again.
Now, sometimes what you may want to do is send a ship back down and bring it back up to reduce the likelihood
Right, you
of
just
it spawning
float through the
in a
room
bad
over to
way.
your left. The other side is an
Scroll
exit over
down,
there.
go to your
Not
hangar.
towards the green, kind of go left.
And here's our ship. Since we are inside our private terminal right now, we can do things like press 1 to pull out our gun. You can do right click to aim down sights, left click to fire. This has alternate firing modes here in the bottom right corner. So you can press B to change it to a single fire, and B again to go into a burst fire. It also shows you how many med pens you have equipped and grenades. You can press G for grenade and left click to throw. But option 1 is your rifle. Option 2 will be your secondary rifle or other thing that you have attached, such as max lift. 3 is your med gun. Press B to point it to yourself, B to point it away. 4 is your med pens. 5 is your multi-tool. 5 again for your other multi-tool if you have 2 equipped, because you can equip a multi-tool to both of these slots. This is your knife slot, so if I move this over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press V, which would ordinarily pull out my knife, and it'll go straight to this instead of pressing 5, which now does nothing because I have nothing equipped to it. You're going to press and hold R, as in Romeo, to put away your weapons. So again, 1 and 2 are for your first and second slots. 3 is for your pistol slot / med gun. 4 is for med pens. 5 is for your multi-tool, and V is for your knife if you have one equipped, and 6 is melee, which you can use for heavy attacks, blocks, and again, that is all listed in the bottom right corner, so you can press and hold both, and there's similar tooltips as you're using weapons and other items. So this tractor beam will allow me to grab and pull towards me using the scroll wheel. In fact, why don't we drop the pistol and wheel downstream. So here's the pistol. I can push that away or pull it closer. If we drop it, we can use right click in space to pull us towards it. We're not in space right now, so it wouldn't work. With some items, such as max lift, I may be able to pick up and carry this entire ship. Where did this go? Oh, there it is. So I'm going to hold F on the pistol. I'm going to put away the multi-tool because this gets in the way a little bit. I'm going to hit C to crouch, Control to lay down, C to crouch again, space is to jump, left shift is to run, W, Q with weapon is to lean left, and right with E, and to unlean, go back into straight, just double press it. So that allows you to do that. Again, there is F4, so you can use it to glance around corners a little bit, or zoom out, look around corners. But we're going to put this away, hold F on this, and you can hold F on most things, and we're going to go down to store, which it just equipped. That's fine. We just go over here. No, it didn't. It just was being done. So we're going to equip this. Hold R. And multi-tool. And Mary, it's back on here. At this point in time, you can now take out your ship. You can run cargo missions from this location by getting them inside the cargo tab for hauling. If you have a salvage ship, you can do salvage. You can also rent some salvage ships. You can do the introductory Wicklow, which will allow you to trade for items later on. That is more of a later game thing. But there's various missions. These are criminals for PvP bounties inside this lawful system. There are permits which will get you to more missions with bounties and stuff for higher levels. There is investigation, which is a series of events at a specific location. Hauling, which you are going to go to locations and pick up a certain amount of cargo and carry it. Double check what the cargo capacity of your ship is before doing this, otherwise you may need to do multiple containers. This is 32 SEU containers, which my ship absolutely cannot do. Or this, which is 1 SEU containers, which my ship can do. Or mercenary, which you're going out and doing bounties, or a series of bounties, in order to kill an enemy ship. Mission cargo will be brought up here, then you can use your tractor beam to put it onto a ship. This has a cargo bay here, and your cargo bay may be different depending on what type of ship you have, but this is where you can store cargo. And that is what you need to get off planet, do your first flights, understand basic flight mechanics, and go from there. Now the verse is open to you. I recommend joining people. Games are fun playing together. But you have opportunity. Have fun, people.